Welcome to Dog Evolution TV, breaking news about more dog behavior. So this month was a tragic month, unfortunately, in Georgia. A pack of 13 dogs attacked a woman right before Mother's Day when she was visiting. Now, Courtney William Cox had 13 dogs surrounding her and her two children, her son and her daughter. Her son, Caden, managed to push his sister, Sissy, out into safety. He received horrible lacerations and punctures, did survive. Unfortunately, Mama didn't. And we want to understand why. Why do dogs behave this way, especially in large groups? Obviously, 13 dogs, mix of breeds. We really don't know a lot about what happened. But what we do know is that dogs do operate in pack mentality. 9 of the 13 dogs have been located so far that I know of. So further notice. Really don't want to go too much intrusion into the people's lives. My heart goes after the people that are deceased, and to the poor children. They're just traumatic, obviously, to watch their mother get mauled. I want to point out to the public that dogs do think in packs, and I'm always an advocate for the truth in dog training and dog behavior. That's one of the reasons of my show. I really don't have the tolerance to listen to different organizations that we have here in the United States and abroad in Europe talk about dogs don't form packs, they don't understand dominance. So I wish you could explain this to the coroner's office and the family with the mother that's dead. They operated strategically as a pack and ripped this lady to shreds. Now that's horrific. And where does this mentality come from? It's very similar to a mob mentality of young children that don't ever get the structure and discipline, and it's an instinctual switch. So the instinctual switch is coming from the fact that the woman might have moved a certain way, been a certain threat to someone. So this is most likely the instinctual motivation of dogs responding to one dog, triggers 2, 3 other dogs, and they stop thinking at that point. They become reactionary, and that's when they're most dangerous. They don't understand the concept of death, the concept of injury. It becomes a survival mode or a prey-driven mode to attack, even though these dogs are domesticated animals and they don't understand the end goal when they were primitive and their ancestors would hunt. They don't understand that there's a meal at the end of this task of attacking and tearing up another life form. But what they do understand is the attack. They've got enough in their domestic gene pool to understand what an attack means. And I want people to understand domestic dogs do operate in packs. I've said it a long time. Most of you are not experienced hunters with hound dogs in packs. We're dealing with bird dogs, large game dogs, or big Argentinian dogos or pit bulls and different dogs used for hunting, and the German short-hair pointers. You have to understand that they do think in a pack mentality. They read off each other's body language and after their prey. And that is instinctual. And domestic dogs, to different degrees, when raised kind of without a rule structure long enough, dogs will respond in such a way when they're neglected and allowed to produce this aggressive chain command behavior where they see some of the other dogs that are strong and dominant or a weak dog start to panic. They will try to protect that weaker dog. Maybe another dog panicked. Maybe an older dog became very leery of something and didn't like the movement. Someone wobbling could have a bad hip, can trigger it. It could be a lot of reasons. We don't know. I wasn't there. We don't see camera work. But once that chain reaction happens, those dogs definitely operate as a pack. All 13 cooperated in this bloody mess. A bystander was flagged down and did come to the rescue to take the boy away and saved and brought the 2 kids into the truck and did fight off the 13 dogs. Miracle, don't know the size of the dogs, but 13 dogs is a lot of bites from a lot of angles. So I imagine the injury was severe. You must understand that a pack mentality, although we're a human and we don't look like dogs, they still read body language, coming into the dog's blind spot, stare down to the eyes. They understand tone of voice. They definitely understand who's in charge. You're demonstrating your ability to be in charge every time you walk, and there's other dogs that are aggressive on long leads. Remember, when dog training starts with that pack leadership, if you let it fall apart, you're allowing your dog to have that primitive trigger where it doesn't understand what death is, what injury is. And so stop listening to the lies. I think by now, probably 70% of our society is finally woken up that there's a lot of lies out there with government institution stamps on them. Okay? Listen to your own gut instinct. Listen to what people tell you that are experienced, who have no financial motivation. I'm not doing this. I'm not getting paid to tell you this. This is my experience from decades of work. Hunters will tell you the same. They witness it every day. But people out in the suburbs and the city really have not experienced the animal world the way we have as trainers and behaviorists and hunters. Be aware of how you handle your dog every day, and don't ever be inconsistent, because you're putting yourself in a position of litigation and the dog being jeopardized to put to sleep. On May 23rd, Thursday, there was an incident where in Sturgeon, Missouri, a police officer shot fatally a 13-pound Shih Tzu. So it sounded horrific. We looked into the investigation of this, saw the video. The dog was blind, deaf, no threat to anybody. Cute little guy wandering around a field, called in saying, "Help me rescue my dog. He is not a threat to anyone." And in a short amount of time, frustration of the police officer trying to hook him and noose him and take him in. This dog is blind and deaf. It showed no signs of aggression. The police officer said the way the neck looks like it was broken. If the neck was broken, believe me, the dog would not be running around easily. It was running around easily. The head can twitch, sometimes from an ear infection. The officer got stories mixed up, said in the beginning he thought maybe it was rabies. He should shoot the dog. Police officer acted out of negligence. We look at dogs or any situation and we say, what is reasonable force, just like you would with humans. And so we understand that this dog did not pose a threat. It's a cute little dog trotting around in the field, missed trying to noose it properly, and he couldn't. He got frustrated and he shot the dog. Okay. Anytime you pull out a weapon, first of all, you're at risk of that bullet being your responsibility in the neighborhood and hurting someone else far away. It's not necessary. The police chief of Sturgeon, Missouri, refuses to apologize. He says the police officer was acting in proper fashion and way he should, according to protocol, the usual. Of course, they say that because nobody wants to pay the legal fees. The mayor was asked questions and refused to respond. Typical mayor, they're running nothing more than a city corporation and they're protecting their pocketbook. This is when the citizens lose faith in the local government, and they already have. There's enough going of BS in the United States of America from every level of government. The mayor needs to come forward, so does the police chief, and say, this guy is a bozo brain. He is acting out of protocol. The dog was no threat. You definitely don't want to discharge a firearm unless it's a life or death situation or potential of one. There was none. It's a blind, deaf, 13-pound Shih Tzu. So Mr. Hunter, the owner of the dog, is filing charges. I don't blame him. He's ex-military. He's pro-police, as many of us are. I work with a lot of police, as many of you know. And so this is a case where the police would be respected, the mayor would be respected, if they just said, look, this guy didn't get vetted properly. He should have never been hired on the police department. He panics over a 13-pound dog, blind and deaf, honestly. And so I don't care how big you are and how muscles you are. This guy lacks testosterone. He really does. He shot a dog at 13 pounds. Deaf, cute little guy. I watched the video. So I saw it with my eyes. It should have never happened. Get rid of this police officer. Come forward as a mayor. Come forward as a chief of police and admit to the fact that this guy is a panic button with a firearm. And move forward. Everyone will respect the police department, back the mayor. Don't try to cover it up. That's what Americans are sick of, and that's what my show's about. Expose the truth and get testosterone under control and tell this guy he's got to go. He doesn't belong working for the police department. Thank you for watching my show. Until next time, Vinny and I are here supporting dogs and good people.